Right, testing, silence. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hello guys and welcome back to episode 145. Yes, the first episode of Rated R of the new year. Guys, welcome to 2019. There's been much goings on. As you guys are probably aware, we've changed the format somewhat. We've split the news section off into two parts, Mondays and Fridays. Drac has the Monday slot. I have the Friday slot. I was going to say Saturday then. And we have the Rated R show smack bang in the middle on a Wednesday because, you know, content, YouTube, iTunes, radio stations, you know, people want content, so we'll give it to them. Anyway, guys, this week's episode is all about upcoming games. Yes, we're going to enlighten you as to the January games that are on sale this month. Joining me in the hot seat right alongside me is Draconis. Draconis, say hello.
Well, howdy hello.
You love those intros, I swear. It's like one of them headaches that never go away.
The rash you just can't get rid of.
I know. It's. I swear to God. It's like, you know when you stub your toe and then you realise you've really stubbed your toe and just pain don't stop, dude. It's like, oh.
But then as the pain wears away, it's nice and calm.
No. It happens every week. You just keep stubbing the damn toe. Anyway, enough about toe stubbings. Drac, upcoming games of January. Let's kick it off. What have you got for me today, mate?
Well, right out of the gate, we'll start with Aftercharge. This is one I got a chance to look at up at PAX. Kind of a fun, cool concept. It's basically 3 versus 3, and it's invulnerable robots versus invisible robots. Or one team is invulnerable, and the other one is invisible. And the objective of the invisible ones is to go destroy these batteries. You become visible while destroying the batteries, and then the other team is just trying to protect the batteries and can't be killed. But it sounds like an interesting or maybe a strange concept, but playing it was actually quite a bit of fun. And it's more of a cartoony kind of art style to it. You know, bright colors, dark backgrounds. I liked it. I'm looking forward to it.
It reminded me of Loadout. A similar sort of game look. It looks like an interesting sort of game. It's very cartoony, which means that you can't really take the game too seriously, but I don't think these guys are going for that. I'm a bit taken back by the name of the developer. Yeah, how do you pronounce that one there, Drac?
I think after some discussion we decided it was Chainsawsome Games.
It's either going to be Chains Awesome Games or Chainsawsome Games, and it's like, okay, you've obviously glued the words chainsaw and awesome together. Fair enough, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do, bro. You do you.
And they have. But that'll be coming out on PC and Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch on the 10th of January.
You mean there's nothing on PlayStation 4? You mean you've wounded me by not mentioning a PlayStation game for the first game of the year in 2019? Is this what your game you're playing, Drac? Is this the game you're playing? Wounding me by not having any PlayStation 4 love?
Well, if you're going to accuse me of sticking the dagger in, let me twist it, because the next game's going to be a Nintendo Switch game.
I know, I've seen it. I've already seen it. Right, guys. Aftercharge, we don't have a definite price on it, but it looks like a lot of fun, cartoony sort of game. I liked it. I like the look of it. I can't play it. I'm a PC4, a PS4, peasant. You, Drac, or a PC Master Racer. So you do enjoy the game.
All right, and next up for the 11th, the day after, will be new Mario Brothers or new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. This looks like kind of like a repackaging of, I guess, the Mario Brothers U that came out on the Wii U. And it's, back to 2D side-scrolling, which is what I prefer for my Mario Brothers. I think it was back on, was it the Nintendo 64, I think, was the first one. They did kind of a 3D Mario Brothers where you're running around and in a 3D environment instead of a 2D environment. And I don't know, I didn't really care for that much. I got really annoyed with the camera, the way that it worked, especially if you're trying to make jumps in a specific direction and the camera moves and that affects how you move as you're jumping. So I like the 2D environment Super Mario Brothers, so I'm looking forward to this one. This will be $59.99, and it's on the Nintendo Switch on January 11th.
Yes, it's a 2D platformer, as Drac said, on Nintendo Switch only, thank heavens. The day Nintendo realize or should I say adopt the Bethesda Skyrim strategy, I think we're all doomed.
And which of the many strategies that have been employed by Bethesda lately are you referring to?
Well, surely not the new cola bottle. Surely not the new keys. Surely not. Surely not. Well, what I was referring to, Drac, before you just kicked it. What I was referring to, right, was essentially, you know how Skyrim's on every platform, everywhere, no matter what you do, it's just repackaging the same old game. Essentially is what Nintendo are doing with Mario's and Super Mario Brothers, right? They're repackaging the same old game, just putting it onto a new console. The day they allow that game to go on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC markets, they're essentially adopting the Bethesda strategy and allowing it to infest every single platform out there and then make a lot of money from it. That's what I was referring to, because that's what Bethesda did. They basically repackaged the game so many times that, Wildlands, the same game.
Well, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that, because while I can see that making some sense, I think that what that does in the long run is it hurts their console product, because this is, again, one of those console exclusives that helps to sell the hardware. So if you can buy the game on other platforms,
hardware. Yep.
Yeah. If you can buy it on other platforms, why would you buy the Switch? So
very true. Very, very true. Right. This is $59.99, guys. If you guys want to get out there in the UK, it's about the same price. Not fancy. Nothing fancy.
Well, you don't get to blame me for this next one.
No, I blame G. I blame G. Right,
yeah,
guys.
This is one you put on the list.
On the next day, the 12th. The only reason why he's putting these games on here, boys and girls, is because we cannot speak Mandarin. We cannot pronounce these Chinese developers. So we're going to butcher these to the nth degree, right? So the 12th of January, Bright Memory Episode 1 is launching. It's an FPS action. And, it's early access, single developer, PC only. And, the dev pub is FYQD Personnel Studio. Bit of an odd name, bit of an odd choice for a name. But the, how do you pronounce that one, Drac? Gujamin Yin Dai Ying Zhang? I tell you what, I've just killed that mercilessly with several shotguns and a chainsaw.
Yeah, see, I don't want to do them the disrespect of horribly mispronouncing it without any kind of audio cues, so it will just have to remain unpronounced by me. But this one looks kind of cool. I'm actually kind of glad he put it on the list. This is another FPS, but it's got some other kinds of melee and special ability attacks built in. You're taking on humanoid and monster type opponents. I don't know, it looks pretty neat. So if you're looking for a new game, coming up here this month in January, and something maybe a little bit different than what you've been playing, check this one out on Steam. At least take a look at the media for it.
I must agree, it does look very different. It's got that sort of anime sort of feel to it, and it's like, whoa, this is interesting. I actually, clicked and looked and had a bit of a butchers, and I'm like, come to PS4 and you might see a better time had by all, so come to PS4, guys. I'll play a game.
Well, 15th of January, we finally got something for you, buddy.
I see. Can I mention it, please? Vane, guys. Vane is coming to PS4. It's a PS4 exclusive. From what I can tell, adventure open world single player. Yes, you can switch between a child and a bird. I'm aware of this. Developer's friend or foe. The publisher is obviously Sony PS4, and it reminds me of quite a few indie games out there. They sort of like suck you in with the simple geometry, but then the beautiful atmosphere that you're then sucked into. It's brilliant. I love it. It looks very, very nice.
Yeah, on the one hand, you look at this and it's not graphics that are going to blow you away, and yet there is something that's kind of beautiful in the like you were talking about with the geometry and the simple shapes and stuff. It still looks like a really interesting game world. But if you do pick this one up, if you do play this one, I want you to stream it because I want to check it out.
Oh, guarantee. I know I'm going to be test streaming some more Gran Turismo because I've got an infatuation with that game. Terrible racer, but infatuation with that game. Love it to death, but I'm always keen to find something else to stream. I've played Shadows Awakening to the death. I haven't managed to finish on the hard mode. That's a feat amongst itself, but I'd love to try this out and actually stream it and then actually do a review on it, so I'm probably going to buy it. I've got myself that Mutant game from December. I'm busy playing it now, and I'll be having a review out for it soon, so yeehaw.
Is it really bad that when you mention the name of the game, I think of that old song? You know which one I'm talking about?
I do.
There's your earworm for the day.
I hate you.
All right, moving on. Here's another one that you can find on PS4, also PC, Xbox One, and apparently the Nintendo Switch. Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 3.
Yes, it is Walking Dead season 3, or episode 3 rather, and it's kind of sad to see how they went. The developer Skybound and obviously publishers Epic. So yeah, it's kind of sad to see. I was a fan of their ability to tell stories, not necessarily the actions within the game, but the stories were good. The stories are good. Wolf Among Us was a good game.
All right, I guess we'll move on then.
Swiftly, next one.
Yeah, swiftly moving on. January 17th, Hell Warders. Now this is a tower defense game, third person, multiplayer. It's online or LAN. Find that on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. This one looks kind of interesting. Have you looked at the stuff on the site yet?
Believe it or not, no. For some reason, the website and the Steam page just wouldn't load for me. I don't understand why. It's all blurry. Don't understand why. So I haven't been able to do some much research on this game as I'd like.
Well, let's see if I can figure out a way to best explain this. So think like top-down and third-person kind of camera, and different fantasy worlds. Some of it's castle-like, others are different fantasy landscapes, but it's a tower defense game where you are basically trying to push back wave after wave of what they're calling Hellspawn with all kinds of different weaponry at your disposal. So I expected a lot of the weaponry from what I'm seeing is typical of tower defense games with some long range, some up close, but the design of the characters looks kind of interesting.
That's actually quite intriguing. Actually, well, hopefully when, I don't know, my internet gets better mafad, I'll have a better look, have a look at it and see what's going on. Right, guys, 18th of January, Legends of Aria, price unknown. It's an MMORPG, isometric player run plus mods type game, right? PC only. The developer is Citadel Studios, and it looks like a lot of fun. It does actually. It reminds me a lot of Shadows Awakening, believe it or not, sort of isometric sort of view. Actually, to be fair, I'll push it even further and say it reminds me of those old sort of Skyrim games as well. Old Elder Scrolls games, sorry, Skyrim. Boo. Old Elder Scrolls sorts of games. It does remind me a lot of that. Sort of like the Baldur's Gate sort of thing. That's the feel it gives me.
Oh yeah, it's got the same kind of isometric, top-down from an angle view.
Yep.
This one is going to be kind of neat though, because you're going to get that kind of experience, I think, or at least I hope that the storytelling is done well, like those old games. But you're going to get that kind of experience in an MMO. This is going to be, a fully playable online MMO, so you'll get to play with your friends, with strangers, make new friends, whatever.
But my mommy always told me not to play with strangers.
Strangers are just friends you haven't met yet.
Right, okay, right. No, in all seriousness, this game looks like a lot of fun. It piqued my interest, G's interest, Drac's interest, and hopefully it will pique yours as well, guys. Go have a look. It's on Steam. See if you guys want to play it. It looks like a lot of fun to us, and if I had a PC, I'd probably play it as well. Give it a bit of a try out, see what it's like. If it's anything like Shadows Awakening, and I keep mentioning that game, and I keep banging on about the game because that's a good game, I'm all for it. As long as it's a good story. Go on, Drac. You can do the 24th of January. I know you're itching for this one.
Not really. No, I'm real picky when it comes to RTS games. I enjoy a few of them, but I don't particularly enjoy a lot of them. I really don't get into the nitty-gritty, like the front lines, building up an army and all that stuff. In fact, the few times I'll sit down and play RTSs with some friends, I much prefer to let them build up the frontline defenses and deal with all of the ads that are coming at us. And I just sit back and build like a farm of nukes so that when it's time to assault, I can just wipe our enemy off the map. And I know.
So you're easy mode click. fair enough.
Yeah, I don't get into the building and the maintenance of all the armies and stuff as much. So, but anyway, on the 24th we have Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. It's like a Warhammer 40k universe RTS, and if you're into RTSs, if you're into especially space RTSs, I know one I used to play a little bit was Sins of a Solar Empire. That was pretty good. This has a similar vibe to that, but at least from the imagery that I've seen thus far, but it's built in the Warhammer 40k universe.
Right, I think you're underselling it a bit. It's not just any old space sim, dude. It's 40k. It's Warhammer 40k. You know, it's not just any old space sim game or space RTS. It's essentially the way it looks. It looks like EVE Online with a 40k skin. It looks really, really good. Developer is Deluxe Interactive, and obviously publisher is Focus Home Interactive. It looks really, really sweet. And if I had a PC, I would buy this game and play it to death, because the 40k games that I've played on PC were a lot of fun when it came to the RTS sort of model. I really enjoyed myself with those games.
Yeah, the imagery looks really cool for this, and I hope that the gameplay is as much fun as it looks like it can be. And it's going for $39.99 on Steam right now, and you can get it for 10% off at $35.99 until the 24th of January when the game goes live.
Right, next game, boys and girls, is Life is Strange Episode 2. Believe it or not, it is $7.99 with a season pass of $39.75. Yes, a lot of fun actually, from Square Enix, publisher obviously, and the developer is Don't Nod Entertainment. I'm not really sure how they want me to pronounce that, but Don't Nod. Okay, cool. PC, PS4, Xbox One. Now, the reason why I mention this game is because it's from Square Enix, and Square Enix have, in my eye, relatively a favourable sort of, publishing history. So, yeah, interesting enough for me to mention it. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it, but, you know, it looks interesting, you know? Yeah, try something you haven't tried before. This looks like it.
Yeah, this is another one that G put on the list, and I think did he play the first one or no?
I believe G did play the first one, which is why he's mentioned it here. He knows that this sort of game, like Hitman 2 for example, doesn't sort of interest us at all in the slightest, but he puts it on here so we at least mentioned it, and it hopefully broadens people's horizons and give other people, people some other options of games they might want to play.
Yeah, when I was trying to find the price on this, the $7.99 price was what I found for Life is Strange 2, and then the season pass was $39.75. So, because I haven't played the game and I haven't looked into the game other than what, just seeing it here on the list that G gave us, I don't know. I assume if you buy the season pass, you're going to get each one of the episodes all together.
I assume as well. I reckon that with the season pass, you get the season episode 1 and episode 2, and then 3, 4, whatever have you. I'm with you there. I'm definitely with you there.
So then next up is one. Is this? Did you play any of the Tropico series?
Yes,
was that something?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you mentioned that you liked those games. So you'll be excited about this one then, because they've got another one that's coming out on the 25th. This will be Tropico VI, $49.99, but again 10% off. It looks like at least until the release date, possibly.
Believe it or not, I played Tropico 5 on the PS4. I played Tropico 4 and all that jazz, and it's actually quite. This is going to sound counterintuitive to a micromanagement game, because I know G loves their micromanagement games, and this is probably why he puts it on here, to troll us, Drac. But he doesn't know I like Tropico. He doesn't know this stuff. I find it quite relaxing and quite soothing, and you just meander off and build your road, and meander back and do this and that, and it's a lot of fun. I just find it relaxing. So, yeah, I'll buy it. Definitely. That's where I'm going to be spending my money.
Yeah, I'm on the other spectrum of things. I don't really get into the sim games that much. Most of them, anyway. I found a few that are fun to play. I think there was 1 or 2 indie titles last year that were sims that surprised me. I think Hexters was one of them that was kind of fun to play. But anyway, I digress.
And yes, Drac, I totally agree with you. Again, I think this is another one of them developers that us at Bamsters quite like, a bit like Square Enix. Believe it or not, Calypso develops Railway Empire. G really likes that sort of micromanagement stuff. It develops Shadow's Awakening, funny thing, like the 5th time I mentioned this game, this little episode. And it's also developing, obviously, not publishing, developing, whatever have you. Tropico 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And it's interesting to see how certain publishers keep going for the same sorts of games and they find their genre niche and keep going, because I still like it and I really enjoy it. So yes, guys, Calypso, keep an eye on them. They're doing some good things from what I can see, at least.
All right, and moving on to the 29th of January. This one I think will be, at least from what I've seen, seems to have a really huge fan base, even though it was something that never really crossed my radar. But Kingdom Hearts 3, which you can get the standard edition for $59.99 or the deluxe with some collectibles for $79.99. It'll be out on PS4 and Xbox One. And yeah, I mean, if you're familiar with the Kingdom Hearts series, then I guess you're probably already waiting for this one. And if you're not, it looks. Do you know much about Kingdom Hearts? Because I know only a little.
Believe it or not, when it came to Kingdom Hearts, right? I'm going to say this to make myself not look like a complete tit. I was offered the game by a friend and said, yeah, play this game, you really enjoy it, you like this sort of thing. You know, hack slash sort of thing. And I looked it up and looked at it. It's like, dude, it's got Mickey Mouse on it. No thanks. And tell you what, I've heard so many good things about this game that I actually regret it. And now seeing that they're on to the third installment, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have been a complete numpty and turn that game away, because it might be another sort of game style that I'm into, because I do like me old Donald Ducks and things, even though I'm more sort of bent towards the Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny, Daffy, and Elmer Fudd. That's me in a nutshell right there. You know, but yeah, that's all I can really offer. From what I've heard and seen, they're great games. A lot of fans behind them, a lot of people are anticipating them, but you know, when the guilty pleasures sink in, you tend to go to your Gran Turismos, your Kingdom Hearts, all that sort of thing.
I say play what you love what you play, and if people have a problem with it, that's their problem, not yours.
Believe it or not, it's also developed by Square Enix. Again, we've mentioned Square Enix once or twice before, as well as Calypso, because they are following sorts of games that I really enjoy to play when it comes to finding developers and publishers and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, you know, until they stop, and yeah, you know.
All right, and last but certainly not least, especially considering the scope that this game is trying to handle, Planetside Arena. This is going to be an FPS MMO battle royale. And before you groan and go, oh my god, another battle royale. Yeah, there's some of that to that. But however, they're also going to have a massive 250 versus 250 battle mode. So, you know, you and 249 of your friends, which, remember, Bamm, strangers, just friends you haven't met yet.
Funny.
You can all jump in and fight together against 250 other strangers.
So it's like a team deathmatch, and then you got a battle royale mode, which is like just a you deathmatch. So yeah, fun.
Yeah, solos and teams of up to 3 in the battle royale, and it's you know, basically the Planetside game. So if you played the what was it? I think there's been 2 of them so far, Planetside 1 and 2. You'll be familiar at least with the look and feel of the game.
Believe it or not, in the transition from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, there were 2 games I played: Planetside 2 and Battlefield 4. And obviously, I kept going back to the PS3 to play Dust 514 because Dust 514 was in that interim sort of period, and I really, really enjoyed it. What transitioned me back over to the PS4 was Planetside 2, because I found that I was enjoying it. I found that I was really enjoying it, and then I got into it so much that, you know, come home from work, stick the TV on, you know, have some dinner, watch some news, turn over to the games, kick some ass, and then I just realized it was repetitive, and no matter how hard you worked, it would always come back and bite you. I'm glad they're diversifying their playstyle somewhat, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys can do.
Well, cool. That's going to wrap it up for our upcoming game segment for January. I know we usually do these at the end of the previous month, but with the holiday break and everything, we wanted to get this one out as quickly as possible this month, so you'd know what to expect coming out. As always, we thank you for the listen. Hope you've enjoyed the information and the chit-chat between Bamm and I. Make sure to like, subscribe, all the fun things. And for Drac, I'm out.
Yes, guys, just to repeat what Drac had said, this is a different format. This is episode 145 of a Rated R show. And yes, you have joined Drac and myself for upcoming games. We didn't do anything last month because, New Year's, none of us were sober enough. I think I was inebriated beyond recognition in some pool of some sort that I can't quite put my finger on. I hope you guys had a great holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, all that jazz, Hanukkah, whatever. Welcome to 2019, boys and girls. January's a bit of a slow month. We try to spice things up here for getting games that you might not have tried and some games that are really interesting. See you guys next month for upcoming games. Cheers guys, bye.